Okay, so welcome back, and if you're new, make sure you hit the subscribe button. So we're dropping a lot of Forex related content in the future, and we're doing this weekly Forex analysis every week, and you don't want to miss out on that, so make sure you hit the button. So in front of you now are the 10 pairs that I'll be analysing today, so let's get into it. Okay, so first up we've got EURUSD. So if we take a look on the daily, you can see that we finally had the break of this level here. So price has been struggling to break this level last week, and it finally broke this level this week in the later stages. So it's moving down as expected, and we want price to head to this region around here and meet with this trend line and this level, and that's when we start getting interested in the market and look to go long. So price can still reverse at this level here, but won't be interested here. We want a deeper pullback to around this level where price struggles to break around here, and then get the level and then get the move to go back up to hit the monthly trend line, which I'll show you in the monthly right now. So if you remember, we had this large wedge pattern on the monthly, and we had, let me zoom in, we had a recent test of that monthly trend line here. So we're expecting another one of that another test of that monthly trend line up there soon. So if you go on the weekly, you can see that we had this trend line here, test there, and a third test here, which held and price respected, and it's come back down. So we want to get a move back up to touch that monthly trend line. So if we go back to the daily, you can see that we want price to come back for that deeper pullback at this trend line and get that move back up. So that's what we're looking for. And we'll be waiting for some price action on the 4-hourly chart to get into the market to get that move back up. Okay, so now we're going to take a look at USD JPY on the daily. So you can see we have this ascending channel pattern. We've got a test there, a test there, a test here, and a test there, giving us that ascending channel. We do have a bit of volatility here, and here where it breaks the channel, but we still have that rectangular channel pattern on the daily. And we're going to see if price will respect that and get a longer move to the upside. So if we zoom in, we can see that price hasn't moved too far this week, it stayed in one place, and we want to see if price will respect this engulfing pattern on the daily, and we'll see if we can get double bottom maybe and get that move to the upside, or if price breaks that level and then gets a move to the trend line, and then we look for price action like the 4-hour chart for the move up. Or the third area that I'll be looking for price to turn is a double bottom around here with price hitting the level around here and then get the move up. So I'll be looking at all three areas of the market next week to see if we can get that reversal back to the upside. So if we take a look on the weekly and we zoom out, you can see that we have this descending triangle pattern. We've got test there, test there, test there, giving us that trend line, and then price is struggling to break this level here, giving us that descending triangle pattern. So we'll be looking for another test of that trend line of that pattern before we get the longer move back down. So that's why we'll be looking for longs next week on the daily chart. Okay, so let's take a look at USD CAD now. So look on the daily, you can see that we had not much movement in price this week for USD CAD. We had that big impulsive candle, and it looks like we're having a bit of correction on the lower time frames before we get that longer move to the upside. And we're still looking for longs on USD CAD. We're still expecting it to rise. So you can look for price action on the lower time frames on the 4-hour to get involved in this trade, to look for entries and ride it up to the monthly trend line around here, which we're expecting price to reach. So if you look at weekly, at the weekly time frame, you see that we have this ascending channel pattern here, and we had a test of that pattern, that channel here, there, and there, and a test here, a test there, a false breakout there, and recently another test there. And we're still expecting price to respect this channel and get that move to that monthly trend line. And if you go to the monthly, you see the trend line I'm talking about. We have a test there, false breakout, another test there, and we're expecting another test of that same monthly trend line soon. So we'll be looking at entries on the low time frame like the 4-hour to get involved from this correction here to get a move to the upside, but we're still aware that price could still fall back down to test this trend line again, or maybe form a double bottom before we get that move to the upside. Okay, so next up we have Euro GBP, and you can see on the daily that we had the break of this level here, and price has been struggling to break that level for some time now. So it was either price is going to respect that level and get the break down, or price is obviously going to break through the level and get the move up, which happened. So next we'll be looking at around this level here to see how price reacts there. So we're looking for some 4-hour price action to see if we can get a reversal and we can get that longer term trade, that sell trade, to go back down. And obviously if price doesn't give us that price action, we'll be looking at this level next up here, which is a very strong resistance on the weekly. So if we look here and we zoom out, you can see that we've had a lot of touches here, false breakout there, a few wicks there. So this is a good level that we expect price to turn around on. So if we go back to the daily, so either we can get that reversal at this level, which is still a good level, and I'll be looking for price action around there. But obviously if that level fails, we're looking next here. So if you go on the weekly, you can see that we want another test of this trend line here. We've got one test down there, a second here, a third there. We're looking for a fourth. So we want that break eventually, and we'll be looking for price to eventually reach this trend line here. And if that trend line breaks, we want to get a test of this level around here, where price has been struggling to break since 2016. So that'll be a good place to expect price to go. So we'll just be looking for price action on the low time frame, like 4 hour, around this level next week to see what happens there. Where we could get a break to this level, but this is where our eyes are on for next week. Okay, so over to NZD CAD now, and you can see that on the day we still have this consolidation around this level here, and price is struggling to break through it. It looks like price might break to the downside, so you can wait for price to break this level on like the 4 hour, wait for it to close below, enter the market and ride it down. Or price can break to the upside, you can wait for a break on the 4 hour again and ride it to the upside. So if I zoom out, you can see a better picture. So you can see that price consolidating around here, and price can break up to the upside, and we're looking for price to test this weekly trend line, or price to break down and form a longer move to the downside. So if I go on the monthly, you can see that we have this trend line here, where price is forming lower highs and price is respecting it. And we're still expecting price to respect this level, this trend line, sorry, and get that longer move down before we get a break of this trend line to the upside and hit this monthly level up there, or possibly a break to the downside, but I am favoring a move to the upside. So meanwhile, we want to get a move to the downside first and respect this trend line over there. Okay, so now on AUD USD now. So if you take a look on the daily, you can see that we had a break of this daily trend line here. Not a strong one, but we did have a break. And if you zoom in, you can see it better. So you can see that we had a break of this trend line, and we're still expecting AUD USD to fall and have a longer downwards trend to hit this level at least. But we're still aware that we could have reversals at these levels here, but we are expecting a longer downwards trend for AUD USD. If we go on the monthly, you can see that we had this monthly trend line here, test there, and we had a test of this monthly trend line recently as well. So there is a lot of resistance that price is in right now. And if we go to the weekly, you can see that we had this weekly trend line, test there, a test there, and recently a false breakout of the trend line as well, and the monthly as well. So there is a lot of structure around the point where price is right now. So it's still expecting price to respect these weekly and monthly trend lines and break the daily trend line, which it did, and now get that longer move back to the downside. So you can be looking for some correction on the lower time frames at the 4 hour to get into this market and get a move back down, or to see how price reacts with these levels. So maybe get a break, a retest, and then you can enter on that retest to get into that market and get that longer move down. Okay, so now let's take a look at GBP NZD. So you can see that this week we had a break of this level here. Price was struggling to break this level for some time, and it was consolidating, and then we finally had the break of that level at the end of this week. So this could easily be a false breakout, and if price closes back above that same level in the early stage of next week, and then that could be a sign that GBP NZD is now long and is looking bullish, and we can get the move back up. But this does have a lot of bearish potential, so we could be getting a move to this weekly trend line or this daily zone, this daily level, and then get the move to the upside. So if we go to the weekly, you see what I'm talking about. We have this ascending channel pattern, test there, and the third test there. We have a test here, test there, a test here, and we could be looking for a fourth touch of that trend line soon to get a move up to this monthly trend line up here. So we'll be looking for longs for GBP NZD next week. So either we have a false breakout of this level here and we look for longs there, or longs at this area around here with this weekly trend line. Okay, next we have CAD JPY. So if we take a look on the daily, we see that price didn't move too far on the daily chart, stay roughly in around the same place. But we're still looking to go long in this market. We want to get some nice price action and see if price either hold at around this level, or maybe around this level where price is struggling to break, form maybe a double bottom on like the 4-hour time frame and get that longer move back up to the upside. But we have to be aware that price could ignore these levels and make a further breakdown to this monthly trend line or even to this low around here and get the move back up. But I will be interested in areas around here and here for next week to get that longer move back up. So if you take a look on the weekly, you can see that we have this weekly trend line. We've got a test there, test there, test there, and we're looking for another test of that same trend line soon. And if you go in the monthly, you can see that we have a waiting for update. Sorry, we have a zoom out. You see that we have, not too far, you see that we have this wedge pattern here. So here and here, and we're looking for, because we see that price is testing this lower trend line, and we want price to go and test that monthly trend line, and we want to get that move back up to the upside. So we have to wait for price to break this weekly trend line before that actually happens. So that's our next target for price to reach, that weekly trend line, and we'll be looking for longs on the daily and the 4-hour chart to get that move to that weekly trend line. And next up we have GBP USD. So if we look on the daily, you can see that we've had the break of this trend line here. We had the break there, and now we'll be looking for price to carry on in that downwards trend, and we want to see how price reacts with this level. And if we get some price action on a lower chart like the 4-hour chart, we'll be looking to go long to hit that weekly trend line. Or if it breaks it, we'll be looking to go long at this level and see again how price reacts and see what type of price action we get. And if you do get some good price action showing that reversal, we'll look to go long at around this level again to go long to hit that weekly trend line. So if I go to the weekly, see what I'm talking about. So you can see that we've had this trend line here, we've got a touch there, another touch here, another touch there. So we're looking for a fourth touch of this trend line soon. So we want to get that move back down and to these good levels around here, strong levels around there, and get that move to that weekly trend line. So if you've seen the monthly, you can see that we've got this overall trend line, and we want to get a touch of that trend line as well on the monthly. But first we need to get that touch of that weekly. And you see that we're at very low price for GBP USD. So we recently had the all-time low for GBP USD. So we're expecting price to get a new trend to go back up, and price is struggling to break this level around here. So if we get a move to around that price on the daily, which is around here, we definitely want to be looking for long options. So we want to see how price reacts there, or price could get the move earlier at this level, which is still a good level, and we're looking to get that move from price action on the 4-hour to get to that weekly trend line. And last but not least, GBP CAD. So on the daily chart, we can see we had a break of this daily trend line here. We had a test there, a test there, test there, test there, test there, and a break here. So this is quite a strong daily trend line, and we had a strong break as well. So this could be indicating that this downtrend will continue, and we can get a move to this level around here, or maybe get a move to this monthly trend line down here. And if I go in monthly, you see what I'm talking about. You can see that we had a test here, test there, test there, test there, test there, test there. So we have a lot of tests this trend line, so it's a very strong trend line, and price could be looking to heading back to this trend line before we get that longer move to these monthly trend lines, which I'm expecting for price to get there eventually. So that could well be happening. So if we go back to the daily, we will see how price reacts in the early days of next week. Either this could be a false breakout and get a move back up to the upside, and we'll be seeing how price reacts around here, or this could well be a new downwards trend to get to that monthly trend line, or to this level here, and we've seen how price reacts with these levels to look for long positions. And if we go to the weekly, you can see that we have this very strong trend line where price has tested it many times, and I'm expecting price to touch it again soon. So if we have a false breakout, and that break of the trend line, which is a false breakout, that's what I'm expecting price to reach. Or if we do get that downwards trend to this level or that level, that is where I'm expecting price to reach next. Okay, so thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button, leave a like, share, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss an upload. And please leave a comment if you found this helpful or if you have any questions. And until the next one, I'll see you later.